Sinner to Winner here, and today I want to talk about feelings and how feelings come about and the power of language. This is something that I started thinking about more and more when my daughter moved to Brazil. So my daughter moves to Brazil, and all of a sudden, guess what? The little bugger starts speaking Portuguese. She's not speaking English no more. Her first language is Portuguese, or as she used to say when she was a little kid, "Porca cheese, porca cheese, dada." So it got me thinking about feelings. And I'll tell you why. If you're going to learn a language, they tell you you have to feel it, you have to live it. So as you know, when you feel grateful, if you're English, you'll say, "Oh, thank you very much." And if someone said to you, and you don't speak Portuguese, if they said, "Muito obrigado," you wouldn't necessarily know what they were saying. You might see what they were feeling though. And when you start to learn the language, you'll remember it because you feel it. So if you're over there, somebody holds the door open for you or does something kind for you, you'll say, "Muito obrigado, muito obrigado." And all of a sudden, you're in gratitude, you're feeling thankful. It's kind of like, otherwise, it's kind of like algebra. You know, you're just translating. And it'll take you forever to learn a language if you learn it like maths and you're just trying to translate everything. Like you're trying to do the Netflix subtitles when anyone's talking. And that's not the way you learn. Like children, they just live it. They live it and they feel everything. That's why God says, "You will know the kingdom of heaven," or Jesus said it, when you're like a child, when you're childlike. Something along those lines, right? I'll put it in the comments, the actual what it says in the Gospels that he said. Wow, my hand is aching. We're back. I pressed the button there and the the record came off, but it did allow me to Google what Jesus apparently said about being childlike, and it was getting back to your childlike. To be childlike, to enter the kingdom of heaven, you must be childlike. You know, have that humility, have that trust, have that curiosity, that creativity, that imagination, all those things that children have. I think the biggest one is innocence, right? And humility. So anyway, I digress. You know, it's funny, when I first heard, when I first entered 12-step and at the end of the meeting, so much I want to talk about right now, but at the end of the meeting, I loved the meeting. I related to everybody in it. I loved what I heard. I loved how it made me feel. It made me feel connected. It made me feel that I wasn't alone. But then they said the word God. And I was like, oh no, that's weak. Because of how I've been programmed by my family, most notably my dad, who is an atheist. He believes that when you die, nothing happens. There is no God. There is no point to this whole thing. Hey, who knows? He might change, but that's who he is right now. And he'll definitely tell you about it, especially if he's got a pint in his hand. But it's funny. He's 3 boys. He's got 3 lads, and they're all reading the Bible right now. They're all in the New Testament. So it's funny how life works. It's funny how great God is, right? So anyway, I digress. Now I say the word God, and I feel relief. You know, when I got on my knees this morning, I felt relief talking to God, you know, when I go through what I go through. I used to see it as a weakness, now I see it as a strength. And that's the power of language. And I think it's really important, if we know that language can make us feel a certain way, then use it. Having known many Brazilian people, even if they speak English, they feel more in Portuguese. If they want to show love, if they want to be connected, if they want to problem solve, they generally want to do it in their first language because that gives them a feeling in their body. Wow, my shoulder's killing me when I'm holding that. Oh, I'll hold it a different way. There you go. Yeah, I'm trying that's better. Damn. Note to self, work out shoulders, because I'm feeling the pain right now. Just holding this phone up. And with this, it comes back to affirmations. It comes back to saying the right things to yourself, reprogramming yourself, you know. Look, get out of victim mode. If you're not happy where you're at, stop telling yourself the same things. Stop doing the same things. If you're not happy with how you're feeling, get around a different environment. It can be really practical, you know, this God thing, this higher power thing, this addiction thing. You know, they say like in 12-step, the credits don't transfer, right? So if you're in AA and you're gambling, the credits don't transfer. You need to go to Gamblers Anonymous. And if you're Gamblers Anonymous and you can't stop banging prostitutes, or you can't stop getting happy endings, the credits don't transfer. You need to go and get in Sex Addicts Anonymous. If you're in a blah, 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 you fill in the blank, right? The credits might not transfer, but guess what? The solution is the same. It's a God-shaped hole. At step 11, we've got to continue to seek. We don't have to have all the answers. You never will. I've talked to priests before that, you know, are still not certain, and they have days where they wake up and they're thinking, I'm not sure. You know what I mean? And events pass and it makes them question their faith. So this is a bit like learning a new language. This whole thing, getting over an addiction, creating a new identity, creating new neurological pathways, creating new solutions, creating a new life. It's like learning a language. It's going to take time, it's going to take repetition, it's going to take new patterns, new habits, and eventually you will feel different. You will feel different about things because belief follows action. Belief follows action. This phone is going off in my pocket. So, belief follows action. And things that made you feel reactive, things that make you feel triggered, like the way somebody speaks to you, or maybe a person, maybe it's your mum, maybe it's your dad, maybe it's a partner. When they say a certain thing, you just, I don't know, you might rage out, or you might feel like you want to drink, or you might feel like you want to go gamble, or you might want to act out. If you practice this, it's like learning a speech, or you go to learn, you're going to be a best man and you do the speech and you do it over and over again, you will feel less reactive. You will feel less triggered, you know? I think that's why therapy helps, and you can walk through things and you can talk through things with a therapist, and there's different styles where you can actually go there and feel it, whether the feeling's in your stomach or in your shoulder or in your back or wherever it is, and work through it. So be aware that you can have an influence over how you feel. It's just like learning a language. It's going to take time, but you can change. You don't have to be a victim, and you are not powerless. The best prayers work when your feet are moving and are grooving. Va con Deus.